Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back. My name is TimProVision, and today we are going to take a look at all the launch maps in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War plus Nuketown, and we are going to rank all these maps from worst to best and give some pros and cons of each of the maps. I wanted to get a good amount of time in with the game and these maps before making this video. I feel that since we are nearing Season 1 of Cold War, it would be a good time to be making this breakdown. This does not include the Fireteam maps, so it's only the regular multiplayer maps. To be honest, I don't love the Cold War maps, and I also don't hate them. For the most part, the majority of the maps are pretty bland and nothing special. Of course, this is all my opinion, and I would love to hear your map ranking lists. So please drop a comment down below with your rankings. I also don't quite understand how we got from World at War and the Black Ops 1 days, where those games had 13 and 14 maps at launch respectively, and now we're only getting 8. It doesn't quite seem right to me. We're all paying and buying the same type of product with nearly half the amount of maps and half the amount of guns too, to be honest. But to be honest, that is another discussion between that and how much better post-launch content and support is these days. My ranking is based off the overall flows of the maps, creativity, and the ability to play with different type of weapon types, so keep that in mind as we're going over these maps. Starting off with number 9, and that is Armada Strike. And like I said just earlier, there isn't really any of these maps I actually hate, but I really don't like this one that much. This map type really, in my opinion, only caters to one type of playstyle, and that is the SMG shotgun playstyle, which I don't really love. I do like running SMGs, but I want to have multiple options on this map. The entire open area in the middle of the map is a cluster, and it allows for way too much visual lanes, as well as spawn killing from the middle of the boat all the way to the back or the front of the ship. The flow of the map is basic and uninviting. You just run to the middle of the map, get a few kills, and if you're lucky, you get to start looking at the enemy spawn killing them. I do like the rappelling from the sub all the way up, and I even do like the variation in height between the water and the main deck levels, but it's just poorly executed in my opinion. There's way too much visualization from the top and bottom areas, and really it just doesn't make sense for anyone to be going down into the water in my opinion. There's not much benefit to going down there. Overall, I do have a fun time running shotguns and SMGs on this map, but it is on the bottom of my list due to this repetitive playstyle, and it only caters to really the one type of playstyles. And this is especially the case if you're an objective player. The next map we're taking a look at is Garrison, and these next few maps, honestly, I don't mind that much, but they are lower on my list. For Garrison, this map does nothing special for me, really. It's kind of spawn kill heavy, which is a huge issue in my opinion. The fact that a lot of teams can sit on the tank and look right out into the enemy spawn is a big problem. I don't really understand why it is like this. I think it needs a little bit of a spawn tweak, that kind of thing. But I have had quite poor experiences on this map with spawn killing. Even spawning deep in the bases, I find that sometimes enemies will be just lurking in the garages, and we're not switching sides, especially if it's like domination. So I really just don't understand that. Overall, this map, though, I think is good. I think this map excels really well in Search and Destroy. I actually think in Search and Destroy, all the maps are pretty good. I think Search in this game is kind of better than most of the games in the past, my opinion, of course. But overall, this map is number 8 on my list because it is way too heavy in the spawn killing area. The next map for me is Nuketown, and this map just won't go away for some reason. Every game they bring this map back, and I'm okay with it. I'm not really a Nuketown hater or anything. I just find that it's been done so many times, and honestly, I feel like Treyarch has a lot better arsenal of a lot of other maps. I feel like Firing Range is a better map than Nuketown in my opinion. Nuketown, again, really only caters to one type of playstyle if you are running objective, and that is the SMG playstyle. Otherwise, you're going to be camping in the buildings with an AR or a sniper. And that's kind of it with Nuketown. There's not really that much to say. It is heavy spawn killing on Nuketown, especially this time around. I find that I'm spawning in the back of enemies' bases with them at the same time. It's really weird. But regardless, they'll probably tweak this eventually. Nuketown is Nuketown. It's nothing new. We've had this a lot in the past. We're going to keep having it, I have a feeling. I just wish they would kind of introduce some of their older maps, maybe something like Firing Range, Summit, that kind of thing, bring those back. There's a lot of Black Ops 1 maps I would love to see them do again. Even World at War maps as well. Number 6 on our list is Miami, and when Miami and the game first came out, I honestly did not like it that much, but I've come to love it a little bit more. Miami is a solid map for all-around gameplay. SMGs, snipers, ARs, all these guns play really well in this map in my opinion. There are different portions of the map you could be running on depending on what type of gun you are running, which I really like a lot. I find Miami works really well for domination and team deathmatch. I have not played Search and Destroy on this map yet, but I'm curious to see how that would go. Overall, this is one of the larger maps in Cold War, and I find that I really wish there was more larger maps in Cold War. I think the larger maps generally play to more different types of play styles, and I find that is quite nice. For the flow of the map, overall, the flow is pretty good. I think it's pretty simple for the most part. It's kind of just like an L shape with an open area in the middle, and then there is the beach on the side. I don't really care for the beach that much. I think the beach should actually be kind of reduced or even just brought back a little bit, especially when you're playing hardpoint. The hardpoint goes out on the beach. It just seems really weird. It feels like you have to run forever to get to it. But overall, Miami is a solid map. I really like that you can play different types of play styles. Number 5 and right in the middle on our list is Cartel. Cartel I would love so much more if it wasn't for all the bushes on the map. I find that the B-Dom in the middle of the map can be quite frustrating to see through these bushes. Flashlights kind of make this pointless too because you can still see the red dot of people running through the bushes. Maybe this is something they had in mind and this is why the flashlights are in the game, who knows. I do really like the variation height from the left to the right or the right to the left. The slope down to the water I find is really cool and really interesting. It does kind of allow for a lot of people to go up that way and people don't really expect it that much. Overall, this map is a pretty simple layout. It's like a 3 or 4 lane system with an open area in the middle, which is pretty typical for COD maps. But I find this map is pretty good overall. It has a good balance between the short range and the long range gameplay. And I think this map is probably one of the better maps in the game if it just wasn't for the bushes, in my opinion. Moving on to the upper portion of my list, we're starting this off with Checkmate. I find Checkmate is a pretty good map. It's well balanced between the SMG and AR range. It's really weird how this plane in the middle kind of separates the whole map, and it does allow for a lot of SMG players to be running through this plane. But SMGs honestly do excel pretty well under the plane and around the plane, and ARs are also quite good when you're camping in the back or just standing on the stairs, maybe looking through the plane. The big problem I do have on this map is spawn killing again. I find a lot of people can just run down the side of the map, get into the back of your spawn in the corner, and then they can see you spawning on the other side, which is really weird again. I don't really understand why this keeps happening in this game. It's honestly probably just an oversight and they didn't have enough time to do a lot of testing, which is a shame. Another big criticism I do have of this map is the roof. The roof kind of makes it so a lot of the kill streaks are pretty much pointless on this map. Even something like Napalm doesn't come through the open ceiling, which is weird. But overall, I do find in this game there's not really that many good ground kill streaks, which is probably just the case of the game, not necessarily the map as much. Overall, Checkmate is a good map, and I feel like it does cater to a lot of different types of playstyles. The next map at number 3 is Crossroads Strike, and if you asked me at the launch of the game which was my least favorite map, it definitely would have been Crossroads Strike. However, I will say Crossroads has come around on me a lot. This map I find plays really well for all types of playstyles, and that's really due to the fact that you have these long lanes on both the left and right sides of the map. But on top of that, I really feel like this is one of the maps you can run around with an AR because there are a lot of lanes, but you can also run around with an SMG, which is great. Overall, search on this map feels really good. Domination feels really good. It feels pretty balanced. I will say, again, there is a little bit of an issue with the spawn killing on the C-Dom side. I find people can get right into the building in front of your C-Dom and just shoot at you when you're spawning in the back. But honestly, again, this is just a problem with the game in general. Overall, again, this map I think is really solid. It plays really well for all the different types of play styles. I will dock this map a little bit on the creativity side. This is pretty similar to what we have seen with all the COD maps in the past. It's a 3-lane system with a cut through the middle. It's really nothing new, but it plays really well, and I do really like it. Number 2 on my list is Moscow, and honestly, Moscow doesn't really do anything special for me, but it also doesn't do anything wrong. On this map, you can play with all different types of weapon styles. Again, there's a lot of choke points. You can kind of stock up with an AR, or you can be running through these choke points with an SMG. It's up to you. There's long lanes on the outside of the map that you can be sniping, which is great. The creativity of the map I find is pretty good. There's an upper height area with stairs or escalators going up to upper height areas, and then there is a kind of a lower portion, then an upper portion in the street. So I do find it does have a little bit of variation in height, which is nice. I find that the domination spots are pretty good. A and C are definitely good. B might be a little bit weird. It's a little weird if you're on the 1A side and you can shoot all the way into the B-Dom while covering, while not even being on it. But regardless, overall, Moscow doesn't really do anything wrong for me. Doesn't really do anything special. Also, this is just kind of the maps in general in this game. I think it's pretty good. I really like playing on Moscow. It is what I vote for if it does pop up. And my favorite map in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is Satellite right now. Satellite, honestly, is extremely interesting. The fact that it is completely open, but the dunes give you a particular way that you can run through these dunes without being seen by a sniper or an AR user. I think creativity-wise, it is definitely one of the better ones in this game. The fact that they do have this open area that you can use the long-range weapon types is great. And even on the plain area around B-Dom, it is also quite open. But for whatever reason, you can also run through this B-Dom with an SMG and play with an SMG quite well. The canyons in the center of the map also play really well for SMG users. The outside dunes, you can also run through with an SMG because of this cover. I feel like it's a really interesting map. You can play a lot of different play styles on this map. It's my favorite map in the game. Kill streaks are great on this map because it is completely open, but you can also hide from the kill streaks. There's those kind of areas. Overall, Satellite doesn't do anything wrong for me. Satellite is the only map in the game that I get excited to play on, which is quite sad. I wish there was more maps in the games, guys, but let me know down in the comments, what is your map ranking list? But this was my top 9. Guys, if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Cold War content coming on the way. Season 1 starts up next week. I can't wait. We're gonna have some sort of war zone coming. We will see what that is all about next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for all the support. Peace out.